Hello and good evening. Current events and stories trending are more or less setting the agenda for the oil and gas journey of 2019, and it's very promising. But one earlier journey of 2016-2017 hydrocarbon prospectivity had come good with results from the Gongola Basin, while lack of infrastructure, legal and regulatory impediments, and transparency issues are the bottlenecks standing in the way of converting challenges to opportunities for continental economic growth and competitiveness. What will make this possible is collaboration among African countries. While that goes to the Nigerian International Petroleum Summit, the Food for Thought going to the Gas Exporting Countries Forum is data exchange for global competitiveness plus global hydrocarbon development. An ingenious contribution to this cause is acknowledged, and one grand idea to fix the power challenge. These are the stories we're tracking. Thanks for joining us. I'm Akin Agbejule. This is Oil and Gas Forum.
And let me conclude by thanking the management of the NNPC under Dr. Barrow. I just read where you said that the NNPC had concluded arrangements to establish some medical centers in the country. Here you have my total support, and I thank you for this meeting.
No panic to buy fuel for black market. NNPC go bring fuel for all motorists.
NNPC say them get fuel jabrata for ground. Saboteur. All of una where they tiff with fuel and petroleum station where they hot smuggle and divert our fuel go neighboring country. Plus people where they build small tank and sell fuel past our government price of 145 naira per liter. Stop am because why? Now big offense now. Now jail straight away. NNPC say our government no increase fuel price. Now still 145 naira per liter. So therefore no buy black market, no do panic buying. Enough fuel there we go round. Nigerians, if you see any petrol station where they sell fuel past our government price of 145 naira per liter, Kia report to the nearest security agency when near you or the Department of Petroleum Resources. Na Ndu Ohamado, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, NNPC, signed this message.
NNPC's compliance to the presidential directive to seek by way of frontier business exploration is leading to prospective success. There is great merit in numbers, and NNPC is advocating for galvanization of strength across national and continental levels among oil-producing countries. Dr. Mekanti Barrow's efforts acknowledged for efforts in growing the nation's hydrocarbon value chain. Integrated energy mix advocated as panacea to power challenge. All the details are in the details. These are just the highlights.
Renewed search for commercial hydrocarbon deposits in Nigeria's frontier explorations basin moved from the drawing board to the oil fields on Saturday, with the official flag off of drilling activities in Kolmani River 2 oil well in the Gongola Basin of Benue Trough by President Muhammadu Buhari.
To the glory of God, I hereby spread in the Kolmani River 2 well.
The event, which is known in oil industry parlance as spudding, is coming as the second attempt at actual oil drilling in the basin following an earlier undertaking by some international oil companies in the early 1990s, which was abandoned midway. However, in line with presidential directives on increased exploration in the frontier basins, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) acquired advanced data and technology to drill deeper for more discovery, thus adding fresh gusto to the quest for oil find in the frontier basin. Speaking at the event, President Muhammadu Buhari commended the corporation for rallying men and machines to reinvigorate exploration operations in the basin, noting that Nigeria needed to secure her energy sources, which he said should not be from only developed oil basins. The president further highlighted that the frontier basin exploration efforts which culminated in the spotting of the Kolmani River 2 well, would guarantee a new Nigeria with balanced resources distribution, strong economic base, and industrialization.
I congratulate the NNPC and all relevant stakeholders for what has been achieved thus far, and I pledge my full commitment to this important national imperative on our journey to building a prosperous, strong, and stable Nigeria.
President Buhari stated that a key aspect of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, ERGP, is ensuring national energy sufficiency, which is unattainable with hydrocarbon resources from conventional basins, adding that the exploration of frontier basins is a national imperative and a core policy thrust that must be sustained.
Our next level is to ensure that exploration efforts in all our frontier basins, namely Chad Basin, Gongola Basin, Anambra Basin, Sokoto Basin, Dahomey Basin, Bida Basin, and Benue Trough, are intensified to usher in prospects.
In his presentation, NNPC's Group Managing Director, Dr. Mekanti Baru, stated that apart from the Presidential Directive on Inland Exploration, the drive to return to the basin was further propelled by the fact that neighboring countries were making hydrocarbon discoveries from their own end of the basin. Baru indicated that while the IOCs who previously explored the basin through Kolmani River 1 well drilled down to less than 9,000 feet, the corporation would go as deep as 14,500 feet in the Kolmani River 2 well.
Mr. President, that NNPC will leave no stone unturned in executing your directive, will sustain the intensity of the ongoing oil and gas exploration in the inland basins of our great nation, Nigeria, and God willing, we shall celebrate even greater successes in no distant future.
The NNPC GMD called for patience and understanding on the part of stakeholders, saying that all search was a painstaking and often slow process. Dr. Baru said the corporation had learnt a great deal from previous operations in the Niger Delta, revealing that NNPC was conscious of the environment and was working relentlessly with host communities ahead of its planned operations in the inland basins. Meanwhile, Dr. Baru last week before the presidential flag-off of the spotting of Kolmani River 2 well carried out an intensive inspection of the preparation for the event. Dr. Baru, who was visibly impressed with the progress recorded, has this to say.
I'm quite impressed with the level of preparedness, but more with the timeliness with which the rig drilling contractor has been able to mobilize. And the site preparation by FES had also been quite remarkable. Seen for myself that all that needs to be on the ground is on the ground, and we're ready to spot this well.
The Group General Manager, Frontier Exploration Services, Engineer Abdullahi Bomai, gives an update on the progress of the exploration of the Kolmani River 2 well.
We are quite confident that we have done the right thing here. This particular well will test both the discovered gas at the gas sand and at the same time go to the lacustrine shells. We are looking beyond this well right now.
So you are here. River 3 is going to go to B.
Yeah, yes,
B compartment. B, yes. And then the other one is southeast is on D.
Yesterday's flag off of the spotting of Kolmani River 2 well is a critical event as it marks a key point in NNPC's efforts to meeting its target of increasing the national oil reserves to 40 billion barrels and oil production to 3 million barrels per day.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has proposed collaboration among African countries in the area of oil and gas infrastructure development in order to remain competitive on the global stage. Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, made the call at the second edition of the Nigeria International Petroleum Summit, NIPS, in Abuja. In a goodwill message at the summit, the NNPC helmsman said cross-national collaboration among oil-producing countries in Africa was essential to convert the challenges in the oil and gas sectors of individual countries to opportunities for economic growth. He listed other areas of possible collaboration to include legal and regulatory framework, noting that synergy in these areas could enhance the abundant opportunities inherent in the new oil and gas discoveries across many countries in Africa.
If we collaborate, especially in the area of infrastructure, and also align our respective regulatory framework, I see opportunity out there to be harnessed, and the resources in the regions will be there for grab.
Citing the proposed Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline as an example of the type of infrastructure collaboration needed, Dr. Barrow disclosed that the project would traverse at least 15 West African countries with intake and offtake points in the various countries before it links with the existing Maghreb-Europe gas pipeline in northern Morocco.
The feasibility study has been concluded, and the pre-FID, the pre-FEED optimization study is currently ongoing. While this pipeline will help in electrification and industrialization of these countries, it will also meet the needs of European consumers for heating and other uses.
On his part, the Minister of State for Petroleum, Dr. Ibeka Chiku, who also represented President Muhammadu Buhari, said the time has come for players in the oil and gas industry to think Africa, think collaboration, and think the future.
Unless we begin to look more to the continent, unless we begin to look more to financing that we can find locally, unless we begin to look for African financial entities to help us develop the key infrastructure that we need in this sector, we would have lost a huge opportunity. And then technology, of course, is attacking us at a very fast pace.
The theme for this year's summit is Shaping the Future Through Efficiency and Innovation, with a sub-theme for the first day as Africa on the global stage, international collaboration, opportunities, and the future. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation has called for enhanced collaboration among member countries of the Gas Exporting Countries Forum, GECF, on data exchange in order to remain competitive on the global stage. Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, was represented by the corporation's Group General Manager, Corporate Planning and Strategy, Mr. Balawunti, who was also Nigeria's representative in the GECF, made the call while declaring open a strategic workshop on GECF data exchange mechanism at the NNPC Towers in Abuja.
It's important, therefore, to strengthen collaboration so as we'll be able to exchange ideas and learn from each other in order to improve our processes.
In his remarks, the executive board member of Nigeria, Dr. Omar Farouk, charged workshop participants to have robust discussions, share experience, and draw from the knowledge and experience of the experts from the GECF Secretariat for enhanced capacity and productivity.
Data is so important in research that informed our decision to invite GCF to come and train our people on data gathering, analysis, management, and also transmission to Doha and other places.
On his part, the leader of the GECF delegation and head of data and information services of the forum, Dr. Roberto Arenas Lara, stated that Nigeria was a founding member of the GECF and has been very active in its activities. As such, the country was selected to host the third edition of the workshop in order to build capacity, enhance collaboration, and share experience with relevant professionals in the country.
Nigeria is one of the most active countries for GECF. It's a tremendous experience to understand what are the challenges that you are facing and to see in which way GECF can help on this.
The workshop participants are drawn from different business units across the corporation. The Gas Exporting Countries Forum, GECF, was founded in 2009 as an international governmental organization with the objective to increase the level of coordination and strengthen collaboration among member countries.
The federal government has commended the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, for his ingenious contributions to the growth and development of the nation's hydrocarbon value chain. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibeka Chukwu, gave this commendation while presenting the award on global contributions to hydrocarbon industry to Dr. Barrow at the Honorary Patrons Dinner and Award Night in Abuja. Dr. Barrow was represented at the award night by the Chief Operating Officer, Engineer Henry Ikem Obi. Dr. Kachuk noted that Dr. Barrow and some other heads of agencies under his watch had added a lot of value to the global hydrocarbon industry through their invaluable services to the nation.
Tonight I ask you to celebrate this country, celebrate Africa, celebrate everybody who is invested here, Nigerian and non-Nigerian, and look forward to a future that is going to be so blessed.
In similar vein, the Executive Officer of Foreign Investment Network FIN, Mr. Michael Dragovievich, while presenting the award, gave special recognition to the Managing Director of NNPC Trading, Inua Waya, who since he assumed duty, triggered an ambitious program of bidding for all across the globe, just as he commenced the process of winding up the operation of some NNPC trading partners to ensure that the country is able to get a fair deal at the international market. The Nigeria State Oil Company has advocated for an integrated energy mix approach as the panacea to the ever-growing power needs of the country. Chief Operating Officer, Gas and Power of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Engineer Said Mohammed, made this submission during a panel session at the just concluded Nigeria International Petroleum Summit, NIPS, in Abuja. Engineer Mohammed said it was time all players in the oil and gas value chain concentrated on the speedy development of energy resources such as gas, solar, hydro and renewable to resolve the power issue in Nigeria.
So fundamentally our focus should remain what kind of energy sources do we have and what kind of energy mix do we continue to have and that will favor the African continent. And that is where the fundamentals come in. We should be concentrating on what is available to us, basically solar, hydro, and the fossil fuels.
Other chief operating officers of the NNPC that spoke at different panel sessions of NIPS have these submissions.
Well, we can say partnership is what is working, and therefore both the funding, the technology, and the partnership must continuously be fine-tuned to ensure that we all work together towards, one, addressing our common challenges, which again, in the Nigerian oil and gas industry is also very clear.
The only thing we did was we said we are not going to give up the assets, we're not transferring the assets, but you can bring your money, invest, and our incentives will be aligned because you only get repaid from the improved performance of the refineries.
Other members of the panel and the audience unanimously agreed that much has been achieved in the area of gas infrastructure.
Hello, thanks for joining us on the feedback segments of the program. I am Julia Auta. The oil and gas industry is primarily subdivided into the upstream, midstream, and downstream sectors. This week, our roving camera crew is asking the public what they know about the upstream, midstream, and downstream in the oil and gas sector.
I know that they are divided into three sectors in the economy: the upstream, the middle stream, and the downstream.
The upstream has to do with the value that crude oil plays in the economy, as in the domestic value of crude oil, but I can't really say. Then the middle stream I can't say actually.
I think upstream has to do with exploration method, a pre-production method used in exploring the hydrocarbon oil, while the midstream, like the middle play in it, and the downstream has to do with production.
When you talk about upstream, you're actually referring to the exploration stage or the pre-refinery stage, where you explore for oil and gas on the river or in the ocean or marine world. Then the midstream is also can also be referred to as the exploitation stage before refining as well. While the downstream is a sector that deals with production and refining of the produced goods, that is the hydrocarbon and oil.
Upstream sector refers to the exploration and production of crude oil and natural gas from underground or underwater fields, while the midstream sector refers to the processing and transportation of oil and gas, and the downstream sector is marketing and distribution of products to the end user. Enlightening, you would say. And that's our package for this week. The program will continue shortly.
Hello, it's good to have you join us once again on this segment of the program. My name is Faith Ayuba. Did you know that liquefied natural gas, LNG, is natural gas that has been cooled to a liquid state? Did you know that the volume of natural gas in its liquid state is about 600 times smaller than its volume in its gaseous state? Did you know that liquefied natural gas can be injected into pipelines for transmission to distribution companies, industrial consumers, and power plants? Did you know that liquefied natural gas can be used as fuel for ships, trucks, and buses with specially designed fuel tanks? Did you know that NNPC's vision is to make Nigeria the leading liquefied natural gas producing nation in the world and to promote sufficiency in the domestic power supply? Did you also know that NNPC intends to achieve this goal by monitoring the commercialization of Nigerians' abundant natural gas reserves, reducing gas flaring, promoting viable LNG projects, power plants and associated gas projects? Now you know. Please don't go away as the rest of the program continues.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil prices rose for a third straight day Friday on tighter supply after U.S. sanctions on Venezuelan exports and lower than expected U.S. fuel stocks. Brent crude oil futures were up 22 cents or 0.36% at $61.87 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures were up 3 cents or 0.6% at $54.26 per barrel. WTI futures were up nearly 20% compared to their December close, while Brent climbed 15%. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, along with allies including Russia, announced supply cuts effective January 1 to tighten the market after worries over a global glut caused heavy price losses in late 2018. Still, concerns over the outcome of U.S.-China trade talks, which have resumed in Washington, have unnerved investors. Data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration, EIA, on Wednesday showed U.S. crude oil stockpiles rose less than expected last week due to lower imports, notably a fall in Saudi crude supply. U.S. sanctions imposed on state oil firm Petróleos de Venezuela S.A., PDVSA, this week are also causing some supply disruptions. Oil inventories have started to build up at Venezuela's oil ports and terminals as PDVSA is finding it cannot export crude at its usual rate due to U.S. sanctions imposed this week. And that's it on this segment of the program. My name is Solomon Yopave.
NNPC is done very well around the country. I think we seem to forget, the kind of shortages we have with petroleum products. You have them very often now. You don't have them. Look at the funding that we have attracted for, AKK. Look at the almost investment decision that has been taken around the LNGs.
That's been Oil and Gas Forum for this week. Expect to find more of these stories as they develop going forward. Have yourself a jolly good week ahead. Bye now.